Hey, welcome to this practice today, which is called Your Four Corners. So we've been talking about creativity and comparison within this guidepost, and today I am inviting you to focus solely on your experience. I think that is sometimes a really hard ask of us, depending on where we are or what we've got going on in any given moment. But it is something that if we consistently practice, becomes easier for us and helps us with things like our creativity or our intuition, rather than being so concerned about external factors. And maybe in your own home space like this, it's easier because it's just you. You might be practicing with a friend, of course, but you've obviously got a teacher and you're being guided. And sometimes we can even get caught up in what that teacher might look like, or their wording, or what they've asked us to do, instead of just being immersed in that space for ourselves. But what you could do with this practice is also take it into your next class. So if you take the concept of your four corners into your next class, where you're going to be surrounded by people and you've got the teacher, and you often get caught up with looking around to see how other people are getting on, which kind of takes away from your growth and your energy. I invite you to try that next time you're in a class setting. But for today, we are going to be in our four corners wherever we are, and we're going to work on a practice that is about mindful transitions. It's going to involve a lot of spinal waves, and I have included a warrior sequence so that we can work on a little bit of empowerment to achieve all of that. But join me seated to start, and we'll just work through the spine. So a spinal wave practice means it's a really good idea to check in at the start and to see where those pockets of space and pockets of tension reside. Is it low back spine, thoracic, neck spine, whatever it might be? Just take the waves or the circles and then find your way into some length and some stillness. And here we're just going to take a few breaths just so that we can activate or begin to activate the muscle groups closest to the spine, working with an activating breath that we can carry through into our practice. So as we breathe in, we're breathing down into the belly, allowing for a little bit of softness, a bit of a pause. And as we exhale, we're connecting and drawing up. So drawing up from the pelvis, hugging into center, creating that kind of strong center line up through the body. So we're just going to take a few more of those. This is going to begin to generate a little bit of heat and warmth from the inside out as well. And then we're going to transition over onto hands and knees. So we will add a little bit of structure into this, of course, and we will find our way into some cat-cows in just a moment. But before we do, a really great way to seed into any movement is just to explore some freedom of expression, which is all about creativity. So in this tabletop shape, instead of threading a needle or doing a cat-cow, we're just going to move a little bit intuitively. Don't worry if you don't know what you want to do, just move the body and see what happens. So sometimes I'm all up here in the shoulders, especially if my shoulders are tight. Sometimes I might barrel roll through to check in on the mid-spine. Other times I'm back here in my hips. You can use your breath as well to guide yourself with the movement. Take the opportunity to warm up the wrists maybe. And as you're exploring the movement, because we want a good foundation for our practice and we know we've got movement coming through, we're also just finding our foundation through the fingertips. We might tuck the toes, draw back through onto the feet. So we're going to take it into those cat-cows, but with a little bit of softness. So soften the elbows and just draw the chest forwards, lift the chest, lift the gaze. And then do exactly the same. So soften and then hug in and up. And then just explore that for you. So I find adding in the softness gives me more space. We'll do one more. And then from here, just tuck the toes a little bit, draw back, and just rock the hips over to forward, take the breath in, take the toe. And as you exhale, coming up and over, untuck the toes, and then just soften the elbows to come pelvis first, all the way down to the mat. So we're gonna bring the fingertips out to the side for some playful cobra waves. So push the toes into the mat, drop the head, inhale, lift the hips a little bit to create some space. Exhale, push them back through to rise up into your cobra wave. Taking a breath at the top and then releasing back down. We're going to do that 2 more times in your own breath rhythm. Just remembering to giving yourself the opportunity to create a little bit of space before you move so that you can be really mindful about how you're moving and where you're feeling it. Reframe the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and as you draw the elbows in, travel back into this tabletop shape, but keep the hands slightly further forwards. And we're going to play with just engagement of the core to float the knees. So take a breath in, draw back, exhale, hug, and just float a little bit. So active engagement. We're going to do that 2 times. Coming all the way up into our first downward facing dog. Keeping the knees nice and soft. And just working on finding a little bit of a wave and a bounce through the spine. Letting the neck hang heavy. Maybe here you just lift and bounce and slowly release back down. I'm going to take 3 kind of big plank waves. So you're going to bend the knees, exhale, hug and lift all the way up and over, and then soften the knees to take it back through. 2 more just like that. Inhale, bend, exhale, rise up and over, release. And if we do these often, or we do quite a few in one go, it can become this undulating kind of flow of a wave through the spine and the back line, which feels pretty good. Now from here, soften and just take the left leg to the sky. Exhale, sweep that left knee in and round, lift as high as you can as you draw the chest forwards to step the foot forwards, lift the belly, wave the spine long, soften that back knee and draw up. Just turning to the front of the mat just for a moment. We're going to turn the front foot forwards and the back heel is going to come out, softening the knees. So we're not going straight into any of these shapes. We're doing it in a really considered way. We're going to inhale, draw all the way down. Imagine you can draw the hands all the way down, bend the knees a lot. And as you exhale, push through the feet to rise back up. Inhale, reach the arms high. And exhale as you bend that front knee to find your way into this warrior 2. And just from here on this one, inhale, reach up, and exhale, take it back. You can draw the forearm to the thigh. Take a breath in. As you do, bend that back knee, sweep that back arm all the way down and around. And then with your exhale, extend. Maybe the gaze comes up with it. From here, take a breath. Coming back through that warrior shape into reverse warrior. And then finding your way back down. Release the hands, step it back into your downward facing dog. Just pedal out through the feet here. I'm going to do some of those waves again, so soften the knees. Exhale, lift the heels, hug into the belly, up and over, soften and lower. So 2 more just like that. This time preparing to take the right leg, lift, draw forward, step the foot forwards, find your form and your foundation, soften the back knee for balance, come up into your high lunge. Again, you're going to turn to the long side of your mat. I'm going to turn so that you can see me. And your front foot is your right foot this time, so make sure you're doing the opposite. And taking a bend of that front knee, bend the back knee, come all the way down. Find some rhythm and some movement. Take a breath here, and then exhale, push through the feet, rising up. And release into this warrior shape. And just check in on the front knee, make sure it's not rolling in. Relax your shoulders, inhale, reach. Exhale, soften. Take the elbow to the front knee. Inhale, soften the back knee. Sweep that arm down and around. Exhale, extend long through that top body. Roll the shoulder back. Take a breath. Find your way back through this warrior 2 shape. And then reverse it. So back arm comes down to the thigh. Keep a bend in that front knee. Cartwheel the arms back up and over. Back down to your downward facing dog. And then just draw up to the knees for a moment. Untuck the toes. Sit back on your heels and maybe rotate the wrists out a little bit if you like. We're going to do that sequence one more time. Just add something onto it, but we're also going to draw the movement with the breath rhythm. So every time we work with the breath rhythm, we'll work with the movement. So I will cue it. Don't worry if you get a little bit lost with it or you do your own thing. That's the point of it. It's your 4 corners, something to explore. But it's inviting you to slow down and really feel your way into those transitions. Back onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Draw yourself up into your downward facing dog. Check in. Take one of those waves. Soften, move out. Up and over. I like you to take more than one. I love doing these. My body likes them too. But I also feel the need to invite a little bit of stillness here. Just checking on how open that backline feels at the moment. So still going to take the left leg, sweep it in and round, lift, draw forwards, wave the spine long, remember, back knee for balance, rising up and then opening out to the long side of the mat. I've come the opposite way round again. So front knee, left side, back knee, back heel turns out a little bit, and just make sure that we've got some give and some bend in the legs. Inhale, drop it down. Exhale, push through to rise. Find that foundation, open out into your warrior 2. Inhale, front arm to the thigh as you sweep that back arm down and around. Open out on the exhale. Take a breath in here. Exhale, rise back up into your warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, draw that front arm round, and we're just going to add on a little final moment here in this warrior sequence. Interlace the hands behind you, draw them back down and around. So this time lifting the chest. Exhale, wave forwards a little bit more. Spinal waves. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, diving forwards. Waterfall warrior, if you will. Last one. Release the hands down. Lift and turn. Spin on the ball of that back foot. Drop it down. Maybe come back into down dog. Maybe take a moment down here on all fours like me. That's where I intuitively went, so we just go with it. Coming back up now. This time, softening, inhale, right leg comes to the sky. Sweep it in, lift, step it forward. Lift the belly, wave the spine long, soften that back knee, rising up, opening out to the long side of your mat. Right leg is forwards, back heel's turned out, front knee bent, softening down on the inhale. Exhale, open out into that warrior two shape. Inhale, drop that front forearm as you soften the back knee, sweep it down and around, opening out. Take a breath here. Exhale, rise back up through your warrior shape. Inhale to reverse warrior. Exhale, interlace the hands behind your back. Draw the shoulders down and back so the chest lifts forwards, and then waterfall your way down. Maybe inside that front leg. Maybe you're a little bit more on top of it. Maybe you come down low, maybe you don't. Last one here. It's a good moment to take a pause. Release the hands back down, lift that back heel. And then this time I'm sliding into downward dog for a final moment here. I'm going to take a wave through the spine, drop the knees, and then just roll over onto my bottom. And I'm going to finish as I started, because it's a slow process. It's not always about finding a stretch to do here. I want to check in with the spine, see how that compares, because I'm comparing myself to me at the start of this practice and not to somebody else, how it compares with my spinal waves when we sat down. Sometimes a lot can happen in a really short space of time. And then you might close to take the arms up, sweep them down and around. That is our practice today. A little exploration with some warrior boosting empowerment to give you that sense of knowing what you need within your four corners of your mat. Take care, and I will see you next time.